Our next speaker is actually two speakers. We have from the DOT Office of Operations Director is Wayde Swenson, and he has brought with him Bryon Fuchs, and they're here to talk about transportation issues that we all deal with in our daily lives. Wayde has a degree in civil engineering, and he started his career at DOT in 1994, and I will let him tell you about Bryon's qualifications. So please welcome Wayde Swenson and Bryon Fuchs.
Well, thank you everyone for having me. I was walking in here and Al Ryberg had to stop and tell me I'm originally from Bow Bells, and he asked me if I've brushed off my public speaking skills, and no, I have not. I've just started this job probably a little over a month and a half. One thing, I spent 6 years as a Devils Lake district engineer, and sometimes when you get the groups together, you're always able to pawn that off on something. So I brought Bryon with me in case the tough questions come. He's usually got the info for that. But, you know, today I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about, obviously, our growing economy, impacts on traffic. We're going to talk a little bit about the state funding. Going to visit you about the construction projects that we have out here. And then last, Bryon's probably going to speak more on the county programs that we've got. And I guess you guys probably have seen more up-to-date information in this, but this is what we had at the last time. Back in June, 821,000 barrels of oil produced a day. You know, in just 3 years, it was only 235,000 barrels per day. So that's a significant increase, as we all know. And some of that has to deal with what we've been dealing with on our roadways. As you can tell, in 2005, we had about 7.4 billion vehicle miles traveled in North Dakota, and that's throughout the state. And just from 2005 to 2012, we're already at 10.1 billion vehicle miles traveled. And, you know, that's a 30% increase in a fairly short period of time. So just to give a visual of that in time, truck traffic, 2008. We got our map here showing, you know, it really much don't get dwelled on the color of the lines. It's just the interstate, interregional, district collector, state corridor. So the line color doesn't mean much, but the width is what shows the traffic part of it. And if we forward that from 2008 to 2013, you can see that there's a big growth. You know, obviously huge growth in your guys' area, but even so throughout the state. And the map, the one other map is just a little bit bigger, so I mean it does over accentuate it, but you can see that it definitely is a big change. So with that map, that last map here that I'm showing you, 2013, it really, our management went and looking at that, really decided to go with, and it's probably a proposed, but with the concept of a energy corridor. And if you see on this map, our energy corridor is the brown highways that are out there. It's your Highway 2, your Highway 23, your 2285, some of 8 south of Stanley, and then Highway 200 in between there. And in looking, you know, that really does show where we've got the truck traffic is showing up. And with the energy corridor, obviously you've got to have your feeder routes, and the routes in yellow, which make up a majority of the highways out there, are proposed are our feeder routes that are out there. Funding. 2013 2015 biennium. And it's nothing new. You guys probably have seen this. But obviously our state legislators stepped up and they gave out $2.3 billion for the state to go for construction and other maintenance and type activities. And I haven't been, I don't think I've been around forever, but you know, in my 17, 18-year career, I know when I started out, you know, we were talking about $100 million program and how wonderful that was. And how times have changed, going from 100 million, and it wasn't that long ago, we were at a $240 million program and thinking that we were doing something with that. But definitely big time influx of money into the program. Senate Bill 2176 provided $720 million immediately for highway and road improvement projects. Of that $720 million, $620 million went for state highway projects, and then there was $100 million in that bill for non-oil producing counties. Some of the other bills that were out there, Senate Bill 2012 and Senate Bill 2176 really provided the big chunk of money on that total at $1.1 billion. From that, we have our STIP, which we call the STIP is basically our federal aid projects out there. If you guys have not gone out, we have our draft STIP out there right now for comments. But it's basically our federal funding, and that influxes about $148 million into the west region, and then the other 5 districts in the east. Basically, it includes Bismarck District. It gets there's about $450 million. So a total about $600 million from federal funds over the biennium. ER, as you all know, the state went through a lot of ER projects, and that was 2011 timeframe, but it's amazing how it takes time to get projects developed and get them out the door. We still have about $108 million worth of ER that will go out this biennium. And then Senate Bill 2176, that's the one, I guess, non-oil producing counties that I brought before, is the $100 million. The state funds non-oil producing counties, Senate Bill or House Bill 1358 was $120 million. State funds oil producing counties, House Bill 1358 was the $160 million set aside. There was House Bill 1358 also set aside about 8.8 or 9 million for oil packed to township roads. And that's where you're showing the grand total of that $2.2 billion infusion into the road network. And this, you guys, you county people, I know that Bryon and his group, local government, have worked with you on that. And this basically kind of shows the splits from those House bills and Senate bills and how they were split throughout for the counties. This next map, you know, you guys are out there. It is basically the projects that we are working on this year. Some of them more in detail than others, but we've got a lot of projects dealing with a lot of miles. So this is 2013. You know, some of our projects that we bid them knowing that we cannot get them done this year. There's just too much work for them to get them, a contractor to get them out and accomplished and get them done. So basically, if we look at it, Watford City to just north of Alexander, that Highway 85 stretch, those projects will be finished next year. We have a project up in Divide County on Highway 85 that we know will be completed next year. We have Highway 8 south of Bow Bells that will be completed next year. And then for the most part around Dickinson, their temporary truck reliever route, bypass route, that'll be completed next year. I and I don't know if I'm missing any. Obviously, we are in hope of having a nice fall. These rains do affect us, but we potentially could have some other projects that we obviously did not have planned, could get moved over into next year. For 2014, although I don't have a map out there, but a lot of the projects that we're going forward are truck reliever routes. We got the truck reliever route in Williston we'll be working on. We got the truck reliever route in Alexander, the one that we just bid in Watford City, but also the other one in Watford City that goes east on Highway 23. We have the Newtown truck reliever route we'll be working on. And then obviously we're working on Highway 85 from north of Alexander into Williston will be the projects that will be major projects that will be bid. The DOT does have funding that was set aside for the districts. So each district got about $7 to $9 million to spend this coming year, and we've asked those districts to try to get those projects out. So, you know, they're not going to be big impact probably projects as the grading will be, but it'll be more of those seal coat overlay type projects that we've asked them to put out. And they'll be working on the designs over the winter to get those projects put out for spring. And I guess this is put up here to kind of give you all an idea when we say we're four-laning Highway 85. It's much different than irregular four-laning, and I'm not sure if everybody knew that or knows that, but we will not have let's say a grass median between it. It's going to be set up, obviously, we're going to have 4 lanes. We're going to have the ability to have turn lanes in there, but if you notice, it's going to be a paved median on that stretch of road. And if you don't probably see it in the picture, but there are extended rumble strips through that median that will be installed, you know, hopefully to alert traffic when they get off course there. But it is a little bit different than a regular 4-lane section, and probably not different than if you get some other states, you'll see this type of a layout. This is just a snapshot of where we're at right now with construction. We've bid out about $750 million this year, and our contractors have gotten about $300 million done. And this isn't non-typical of the time frame we're in right now. Some of that's impacting this is the fact that some of these jobs we're counting in here are 2-year projects, so there's portion of this money that is planned not to be done. But typically when we get into September, it is the push from the contracting industry, and they do push it. And when they start paving, concrete, asphalt, whatever, those are big dollar items that they push out, and this quickly gets turned going the other way. So we have a lot of projects that need to get paved, and the contracting industry, we obviously need a nice fall to get some of these jobs going and get them done. And fortunately, we did not have a very good startup. Unfortunately, we did not have a very good startup this spring with the wet weather, but we did have a very nice summer where the contractors were able to catch up as much as they could, and we just are hopefully pulling that forward into the fall here before, as we all know, the snow will be flying. And I guess my last thing, and then Bryon will come up and talk a little bit about some of his programs, but you know, it's safety, and I guess that, you know, we as a DOT promote safety. It's obviously something that we all need to promote, but it is disheartening to see that the when we have fatalities out there, how, you know, we maybe can't get rid of all of them, but 50% of them are alcohol related. And 66% of them are not using seat belts. And then 29% is excessive speed. That is contributing factors to those fatalities. And obviously, we like to think that, you know, that if all these were done, we wouldn't have any, but we know we will. But it's amazing how, when you look at the numbers, how many of these could have probably been prevented. So with that, I'll have Bryon come up. Yep.
The portion 85 from Watford City to Allen, you're not going to finish it. What kind of surfacing will be on that for the winter?
There will be pavement, because I don't think we're ripping up the pavement in that stretch. So the existing pavement will be left there. The contractor is required to put in a gravel section for the shouldering part that they're putting on there. And what I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be, if that's a paved surface or a prime, but I believe it's a gravel surface that will be out there that they're widening on. But the pavement will stay.